Welcome back, everybody. Um, this is episode 3, and I'm sorry for the mess up that happened with episode 2. For some reason, I realized 3 weeks later I had uploaded a previous and older version of episode 2, and the fountain behind me and the building behind me was not in the episode, despite that being in the thumbnail and the purpose of the episode. I'm sorry about that. Go ahead and check it out again. The link will be in the description or just back in the playlist. Um, and for those of you in the future, just ignore that. But let's take a quick look around what you missed. This fountain is inspired by this piece of concept art from Jurassic World. And I thought that fit the whole intention of the staff center really well. So I included this as a statue and had a lot of fun making that. And you'll be able to see that in the current version of episode 2. And these walls, or this building here, I had built up, and I had actually gotten to make a custom billboard for the top of it, giving off the logo. If we go inside here, I had actually done a full interior for the main floor. I have not done the detail work yet inside the offices, but this was probably about 3 weeks of work just to do this building, and I thought that mural would be absolutely perfect for behind the main desk. Let's continue. Yeah, I've got everything labeled, what these rooms will be. I have to figure out what's going to be upstairs. But, I guess I did some interior work, but, yeah. And what was also included in that episode is back outside here. Oh, and this back room also is 2 stories. As you can see, very little of upstairs is done. Just this main corridor surrounding these 2 double floor rooms. And as we come down here, I did some work back here. I finished all the exterior walls, and I did that, as you can see, that much of the electrified fencing surrounding the exterior. I did complete electrical fencing work around this staff center, which, now that I'm thinking about it, I may have to redesign some of this, because as I was talking in this episode, I based this gate here off of what we can see in the Fallen Kingdom. And as we can see in there, we have deuce and a halfs that are supposed to be driving through this gate, and I don't think a deuce and a half's going to be able to make that turn and go down that path. So this whole area is going to need to be redeveloped. And that's what we did for that episode. Now let's move on to what we're going to do in this episode. This episode, we are going to have 2 guest builders join me, which was my intention all along. I'm not going to be able to do this entire build completely solo. And in in my 5 years of being a Jurassic Minecrafter, I have made so many friends, and they're going to be joining me along the process of this. One of which is the leader of a very prominent group called Everything Jurassic Park. But we'll get more into that later in the episode. Once this loads, which, now that we're over here in the Main Street area, I'm going to explain what the premise of this episode is going to be. First, we're going to start from all of these 3 buildings here, all the way out to the what is labeled as the Learning Center, and the roller coaster in front of it is what the plans are for this episode. So in turn, that's going to be the gift store, the restaurant here, which we're going to be basing off the Thunder Terrace Falls, and the visitor center, which that's going to have a restaurant, a gift store. Oh, what? Who's that?
Hello?
Hello? Park's not open yet.
I booked tickets online. It said you guys were open.
That's strange because we shouldn't be open for the next year. You probably got the year mixed up.
I swear those sketchy websites, they always get you somehow.
Oh, of course. Yeah, we're not even done anything close to this. But since you're here, um, you want to help build?
Yeah, sure.
You look familiar.
D- do I?
Don't you have a big series that like talks about everything Jurassic Park or something?
Why, yes. Yes, I do. Yep.
Okay, enough cheese. This is going to be my guest for the episode, Ryan from Everything Jurassic Park.
Hey,
And
guys.
first, we're going to be working on the gift store. And then from there, he's going to go on and work on the restaurant. And I'm going to let him do whatever he wants with that because I not only trust him, but I think he can bring something special and something that'll just add to his touch to this park.
Yep.
Anyway, so you're gonna see a pretty much finished gift store when we come back. And with that, we're pretty much done. Ryan's just gonna put the last finishing touches on camera for us.
Just finishing off the head here, and there we go.
Yep, that's awesome. So as you can see, we decided to have skulls over the front entrance. Just to something to make it stand out a bit more and make it feel like a zoo. You know, when I think of like a zoo, that they would have like animal heads above the entrances to the main gift store. And here we are. This turned out a lot better than it really could have.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out as well. A lot of trial and error, but I think it turned out good.
Yeah, it really did turn out really good. And because this is the Jurassic Park fan base, we couldn't just have the Rex. We have the Spinosaurus skull over here, over the other entrance, tucked away in a corner, hidden. No. But so Ryan spent the last couple hours working on that, and I spent the same amount of time working on this one. This one was probably harder because I didn't find any tutorials on how to do a skull, and there's not as many like CG reproductions or pictures of what the skull looked like, so I just had to wing it.
Yeah. But no, I think you did a good job on it.
This is pretty good. And there's also credits inside the skulls, so everything that I will be using from other people or having guests on will be credited. So just so there's no accusations of stealing like I've heard some people do. But so we got the gift center done. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to do the interior, but we're going to put a hold on that for the moment. I can do that off camera, and we can do that in between episodes if we need to. But this is kind of be where we're going to part ways. I'm going to start working on a build by myself, and Ryan will start working on a build himself. Ryan, would you like to tell the audience what you're going to be working on?
Alright, so if we come over here, I'm going to be building this map's version of Thunder Falls Terrace. And if you don't already know, that is the name of the restaurant, the main restaurant at the Islands of Adventure Jurassic Park area at Universal Studios, Florida. It's a really nice looking restaurant, really captures the Jurassic Park feel, and Roland had decided that he thought it would be really cool if we incorporated that design, that look for this park's main restaurant as well. So he's given me creative freedom on how exactly it's going to look, and I hope that it'll turn out well.
Yeah, it's going to. And I'm going to pause because my dog's going off. One. That sounds great, Ryan. I cannot wait to see how it looks when it's finished. I'll let you be so you can have as much fun and just do what you need to do. And I will check in later.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. So as Ryan is doing his thing, I'm going to be working on this with a little bit of help from and because I've worked with him before and he asked if he could help me with anything. So I'm bringing him on to help me do some of the grunt work, building up walls and help design some things. But so we're going to be working on that. So as you come in, you're going to be seeing the grand rotunda central room, very similar to the visitor center, how it's laid out in the first Jurassic Park movie. But instead of having the control center up top, that's going to be in a basement underneath. And over here is going to be a massive gift shop that essentially these four things that I'm going to be talking about take up almost an entire quarter of the visitor center. So this is going to be a gift shop according to the original blueprints that I'm working off of. Over here is going to be a museum that has a glass wall that looks out into the Mammoth and Mastodon exhibit. That's going to be the monorail station. Over here is going to be a IMAX theater that will have 3 massive screens. And over here, a restaurant that is comparable to the size of the project that Ryan is working on, but it's not going to be the flagship one. This will be a more of like a fast food type restaurant where like McDonald's, so to speak. And yeah, it's going to be fun working on this. It's going to be massive, and so there might be some actual time between recording this and when this the next clips are going to be finished. Almost possibly about like 3 months, but we'll see how things go. And this episode is a non-building episode, so next thing you'll see is probably an update with Ryan, and then you'll see this one updated. I'm not sure how long we're gonna get, how far along, but we'll get decent way. At least that you'll be able to know that it's visible. And we're back, and as you can see, Ryan has definitely been busy.
Yep.
Let's go ahead.
All right.
Show me.
All right. So if we come up, and I'll give you guys a tour. So we'll start out front. We've got some nice rock work and a fountain, which I did have some help from Roland. And back here we've got a nice waterfall, which I really like. It kind of, it makes sense because the restaurant is called Thunder Falls Terrace.
Yeah.
So
that's definitely a nice touch.
Yeah. And then over here we just got a smaller pond. I think I might add some bushes and maybe some rocks in there, but still a work in progress. But
it's not
now
like this is going to be the last time you're going to be a guest.
Exactly. So now we can move on into the inside, the interior. Here's the entrance.
This is looking great. Better than I would have even thought it was going to come out.
Thank you. Definitely based on the real restaurant.
Yeah.
But I think I did make it a bit bigger, and just to kind of work with the outline of the restaurant that was here.
Yeah, so everything in this park is massive.
Yep. So if we come on in, we've got some potted plants.
Very nice.
These walls, not really sure why the walls are there, but they're there on the real thing, so I just thought I'd include them, and they look nice. So
yeah, they do look good.
We'll go to the smaller rotunda first. There's an exit over there for, well, I guess anyone really. definitely based on the visitor center
Oh yeah,
lobby.
I can definitely see that.
Um, that was a key thing that I wanted to make sure was included. Um, if we come on up the stairs now,
Okay.
uh, I added in two sets of elevators.
Ooh, very nice.
Um, just kind of they fall down,
Yeah,
but and then we got windows that
yeah,
you can look
that's nice.
outside. Yeah. But that's it for this side, really. Um, now I guess we can move on to the other side,
Okay.
where there's a lot more going on. I will say. Over here, um, once again
Oh
inspired
wow,
by the Jurassic Park lobby, but the top is actually um, taking inspiration from the Discovery Center
this is
rotunda.
great.
I really like the look of that, and um, so I wanted to incorporate it
Oh
in some
yeah.
way. I think I'm going to have seats along here,
Okay.
and then maybe some in the middle too. Not sure yet, but
Okay.
and then we have some bathrooms over here. Uh, we'll go to the men's one. Well,
Okay.
I guess we can look at both. They're different. They're not the exact same. But you walk in, you've got just a kind of standard looking bathroom that you'd see in a restaurant, stalls and
Yeah.
sinks and whatnot.
Definitely
And then,
spacious.
yep, because this would be the park's main restaurant, so
It would.
a lot of guests in here.
Oh yeah.
And then the women's, just a lot of stalls I put in here because, well,
Yeah.
and that's like a trash can, and
Okay.
but yep, for the bathrooms. Now, one of my favorite parts of the restaurant so far is not even inside it.
Oh really?
Um,
I'd say this
yep,
was mine so far. This
yeah,
ceiling is amazing.
thank you. This definitely is nice, and but I think if this were a real place and I got to pick where I
Oh.
wanted to eat, I would choose out here.
Oh really?
Yep, this is the restaurant's outdoor eating area with a
Oh
great
yeah.
view of the visitor center,
Oh wow, yeah. This is definitely a great view.
and you'll get to see the monorail
Oh
over
yeah.
there, people going by. I just
Mhm.
think, yeah, with with the trees around it and everything,
Oh,
and
this is
this
good.
is definitely where I would eat.
Definitely. I can picture it now.
Yep. But yeah, that's all I got so far. It's still definitely a work in progress. The interior needs a lot of work, um, but it's coming along.
It's definitely
But
looking great. Thank you for joining in and helping me. And
yeah, no problem.
probably in an episode two, this will be finished and ready for another look back.
Definitely, yep.
Okay. Um, I guess we're gonna move on to the next thing. Welcome back, everyone. This is the beginning of the final segment of this episode, where I go over everything that's been worked on in the last few months and give off some future plans. And I'm even gonna be dropping the backstory of this park on you. So, um, as you may notice, I'm not in the actual park right now. I'm sitting in the parking lot. That is because there's been a lot more work done than I was expecting. And as you can see, there's a lot of work that's been done. Um you can see the visitor center straight through there. I've done some work on trees. And now there's a massive building over there. Um I'll hover a bit so that you can see I've even redone the pavement in the parking lot. So, and I've also messed with the ticker ticket booths a bit. Um, I'm gonna be working on this later, but I want to have the pavement here be a little lower so that it's like a proper sidewalk. But over here is the ticket booths. I never really was satisfied with how they looked before, and I think these just do the trick. And they even keep with the Jurassic Park feel of having the round, in this case, oak wood rotundas roofs, but we're going to pretend that they're thatch for now. I'm going to be swapping out for some mods here in the near future, so I'll change that to grass. But so you'd come up here, get your tickets, go this way, out, and then you enter the park. I'm going to put some turnstiles in here, but I should also have a place for a worker to stand, but or a seat or something, but that'll come later. And the first view that you get of this park past the gate, past the ticket booths, this pretty much dominates your eye. I'm not 100% sure on whether or not what I should do with this, because I don't want it to be as dominating, but if you have any suggestions, let me know in the comment section below. There's going to be a lot of questions I'm sure people are going to have after this episode. But as we progress through the main gate, we enter in to Main Street. This definitely screams San Diego to me, except for the fact that there's no arena at the end of the street, which had me thinking, which I'll talk more later. Because as you entered into the San Diego model from the second movie, it was going to be lined with palm trees. So we have the gift store over here. We have this massive greenhouse, and right ahead is the piece de resistance, this park's visitor center. This has taken a long time. I'll hover a bit. And I've even started on the monorail a bit. But that's a little bit of a teaser for Ryan's build of the restaurant. So this is massive. This is about, from the first Jurassic Park movie, I would say about 4 visitor centers would fit inside there. The version that was used in the movie, 4 of them would fit inside the square footage of this place. Let's go around this way. I will talk about that in a moment. So custom pond, this will have a bunch of custom trees, bushes and stuff, but I'm just not good at them. I actually had Ryan come in and work on the trees for me, because I am not good at custom foliage. I am good at building, but not trees. As we come up here, this was Madrid's suggestion, is having this kind of entranceway. This is also inspired by the Discovery Center. There's a lot of stuff that we took. So it's the Visitor Center. It's taken inspiration from the one from the movie, the Discovery Center, and this entrance was inspired by the entrance to the Innovation Center. So all 3 major guest information places and where they would be expected to go first, all 3 rolled into one. So as we enter in, we come into the main rotunda room. There's going to be banners at some point, but this is what's going to really be drawing people's eyes, is the mural on the floor. And yes, I did a trick where I hid glowstone under certain things so that this area would not be completely dark. As you can see, the 4 other main exhibit halls or rooms are. So, as you can see, there's another complete section, just a walkway. There's 2 walkways around here. I'm not sure if I should change this flooring, but this is still very work in progress. I just wanted to get an episode done and out for you. So let's start. I haven't really done anything in these rooms except for the IMAX theater, but even though that's not done yet. So first we enter into what will be the gift store. Inside this center area is going to be the main display. There's going to be a model in the center here, and this has a perfect view of Ryan's restaurant, and this will be a jungle theme scene outside this window. As we go back to the main room, let's progress clockwise. That room's not done, but that's essentially just going to be storage for the gift shop. Come over here. I've not looked up. Okay, that's going to need some work. So we come over here. This is going to be the museum that's going to essentially wrap itself around, and then once it gets wrapped itself around the wall, there's going to be some stuff talking about the different geologic periods. And as we come down into this main room, you're going to be going down a ramp. And I say specifically ramp because of the backstory, which I will explain in a little bit. And you get down to the bottom level down here. There's the monorail as it enters into the building, and a giant, massive wall of windows, wall of glass that overlooks into the mammoth exhibit. That is going to be interesting because that also ties into how in the novel Hammond's first cloned creature was an elephant. So what greater thing would Hammond be interested in showing off front and center in his museum is technically the same kind of creature that his first cloning experience was with. Oh, and then also this massive rotunda up here. This will be guest accessible, and I just need to get to the point where I'm building this. Again, I just wanted to get an episode out, so it's not as finished as it should be, but things will deal. Another entrance to the museum. This will be the exit. Over here, I'll save that for last. But that's the monorail station. As we come over here, we're making our way to the IMAX theater room. This rotunda tower will not have guest access, but as you can see, 3 massive IMAX screens. These screens are the exact size that they would have been when the park would have opened in the late 80s. I believe I went with what the screens were, the average size for 1988, which is when this park or at least this section of the park was originally opened. No, I went with the 90s. The original part of the park was 1988. This was in 97 as a tie-in to the movie. But again, I'll discuss more of that later. So we come back around. Another exit. And over here, the small restaurant, or I say small, but the fast food restaurant that will be a bit like McDonald's. Again, not much work done, but yeah, I just needed to get an episode out, but I'm repeating myself. Let's go over here. Okay, so as we come over here, this area will have some plants, bushes, and stuff, so that it's more lively. But we come to the monorail station, where it is based off of the Jurassic World monorail station. Back here is going to be a pond and a jungle scene. Okay, let's walk down the monorail line. It enters back into the visitor center and comes along what I'm considering a relic of this park's past, which I'll explain in a moment. So come along here through this, what used to be a walkway, out through this room, and out of the visitor center towards the mammoth enclosure. So as I fly above, I'll get you some sweeping views of the visitor center. This has been a great episode, and it's getting rather long, so instead of giving the backstory to the park and discussing the greenhouse, I will do those in another video. But since it is getting long and we are getting ready for episode 4, I wanted to offer up a chance for a little bit of fan interaction. I'm going to be having a poll, and I would like to know which creature I should start off this journey with. The first option is the one that I'm actually betting is going to be winning, but the T-Rex. This exhibit will include the exhibit itself and a restaurant out front and its emergency bunker. Option 2 is going to be the Triceratops enclosure. This will include a little island, so to speak, that the guests will get to via a bridge. And on the opposite side of the enclosure, it's going to be going up right up against the river that will eventually be the Jungle River Cruise. Option 3 is going to be the Raptor House. This will include 5 species. 1, the Velociraptor. 2, the Troodon. 3, Deinonychus. 4, the Utah Raptor. And the Achillobator. This will also include a small gift shop and an emergency bunker. The last option is going to be the Paraceratherium. This is going to be a little bit different from the other two, but it is more Cenozoic and it is flat out Ice Age. Anyway, I am really looking forward to see what option wins. And remember, if something escapes,